Hi there, it's Kevin Van Ord standing in for reviewer Nick Capizzoli to tell you about FRACT OSC. Video games are uniquely suited to placing users inside an imaginary space. That's a notion that Tron took quite literally, and FRACT OSC doesn't stray far from the same idea. In FRACT, you find yourself within a synthesizer, full of floating geometry and backlit monoliths. The first sight you see in FRACT is a wash in black, though. In first-person view, you fumble your way over to a darkened computer terminal only to find it locked. The synthesizer is broken, split into a trio of color-coded components that need to be reconstructed. Afterwards, the area branches outward into layered networks of caves and puzzle rooms. Each component's puzzle comes in two flavors, a generalized brain teaser and a musically inclined variant. When solved, the puzzles fill their immediate environment with house music and unlock corresponding portions of the larger instrument back at its terminal. Since FRACT doesn't offer much in the way of direction, you're left to wander the game's tunnels in search of promising landmarks. Thankfully, the game's organic, sometimes mechanical scenery holds quite a few of them. It's an impressive labyrinth, and you gain a better appreciation for its complexity when you take a ride on the fast travel monorails that link it all together. But just off the beaten path, you'll find ugly areas and dead ends, and because FRACT is so directionless, you end up spending too much time within them. All that time wandering might be less tedious if you could kick back with some engaging songs, but FRACT is surprisingly quiet for a game about music. The exception comes when you're putting the finishing touches on one of the musical puzzles, which usually involve laying down a set of tones in a repeating musical measure. Successfully integrating your portion of the song causes additional instruments to come crashing into the music. The resulting cavalcade of sounds makes for a wonderful reward. Enjoyable as the puzzles are, they're overshadowed by those that don't seem thematically relevant to the game's setting. FRACT is overstuffed with platforms that need raising, sliders that need switching, and tumblers that need rotating. Most of these puzzles are uninteresting, and they're further hampered by the game's movement quirks. Confusingly, gaps between platforms can sometimes be walked over, but once in a while you'll plummet through a small crack in the upper floors of a puzzle, and will have to make your way all the way back up from the bottom. Eventually, you find yourself back at the main synthesizer and stare at the glowing dials. Something's lost in translation here. When you feel like a partner to the game's music making, FRACT lets you get lost in the beat. Unfortunately, the bland environmental puzzles lack an engaging rhythm.